people join us. Great. So I think I'll begin. On behalf of the president, Bala, I'll be giving the welcome note and introducing Vinay. Bala has had to go to the doctors, so unfortunately not joining us at this point. But it's wonderful to see all of you after our Maddies, the 42nd Maddies that happened last month. I met many of you that day, and it was a wonderful session in terms of the award ceremony. A lot of happy faces. We're seeing a lot of the winning moments that many of you were part of on our socials. So please go check Instagram and LinkedIn. You might find yourself there. Please go ahead and share it from there to your peers as well. A lot of good moments through the entire Maddies. So after Maddie's, this is our first InsightView series session and the 16th one. Today, we've got a very interesting topic, which has had its fair share of tradition, and it's something that we all have been part of. But something that I think Vinay and Shiva, specifically from Brand Exchange, are going to take us through is a very innovative tool, a very innovative way of looking at brand integration in films today. So the topic today for the 16th InsightView series session is brands and box office, redefining in-film branding in the digital era. Sorry, someone's got their audio on. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to this session because Vinay comes with a rich background of experience. Vinay has been the sales lead for South with 15. Sorry, he is the sales lead for South for Brand Exchange at this point. He's got over 15 years of experience in sales across print, radio, digital, and branded content. He is leading the brands for active content creation and distribution. So I would like to leave it to Vinay to take it over from here. Over to you, Vinay.
Hey Suraj, hi everybody. Thank you so much for a wonderful introduction, Suraj. It was really nice of you to do that. You're very generous on, adding on things more than what we really are. Okay, I also would like to welcome everybody on this session. Although this is my first one, I'm very sure I'll join a couple of more because I believe this is a kind of a platform where everybody would get to learn a lot of things apart from what they are doing. Well, as you said, I come from a quite a diverse learning from my life. I always believe learning never ends, and this current endeavor, what I've taken is something which has really excited me as a person from media, print, television, digital, and more of a content. So if I have to substance all together, current total what I'm doing right now is something of a just for all, because it gives you a satisfaction. There is a place where you could really put all what you learned into one basket. That's a kind of a thought and learning. Okay. Further, not taking much of a time, let's dive down into a few thoughts, what I want to put in everybody's mind, and then see how we could take this discussion ahead, basically. Today, what we want to talk about is basically branding. When I say branding, it's more for in-film branding. Why I'm giving this a small input is because we all know what branding is all about. We've been seeing from childhood how it works. But if we talk about in-film branding, there's a lot of evolution to that. What happened, right from the Western countries, how the movies were done, into Indian movies. So if you see, the journey starts right from 50s, 60s in India, but where it was done in a very subtle way. There was no organization in that. There was no planned processes in that done. And eventually it came up to a stage where the brands were just placed out there without any much meaning to the brand, and not doing any justice to the communication of the brand and things like that. And then evolved the era where people consciously thought this is the way we can communicate. When the content business really evolved in India, that's when brands became a integral part of every content. And that's how I believe the storytelling completely narration changed when the brand started integrating with the content itself. So here we are to take this journey to the next level, right from content integration to video integration to the next video e-commerce. That's the whole journey what we are getting into. And just to give a small, just I'll give a small thing, just a small presentation, and then it's open for thought. Just a second. Is my slide visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So here we are. Thank you for the opportunity again. I'm here with my CEO, Mr. Shiv Kumar. It is his brainchild basically to develop such a kind of a tech-based platform in India, and which will take a long way for us basically. So just to give you a gist of it, I was telling you how the current market in India is working with movie integration. As per the CAGR report, there's a growth of 25% every year, and it's going to continue this growth up to 30-47 till 2027. So there's a huge amount of investments going on this. Predominantly from the point of view from the brand perspective, because you see, I'm sure we all know they spend a lot of money just to get the attention of the consumer in the required markets in the required way. So if you talk about what are the advantages and things, everything revolves around the ROI. So every business planner, every strategy guy always looks at the ROI and how it can benefit his brand and the positioning of it. So this is the CAGR report, which talks about the numbers, how it's in the upscale of growing, in the movie advertising in India, as a core. Now, how does it benefit is basically to this medium is in-field advertising is achieve target audience. That's what I told you. Now, earlier we had one medium, one communication. We know what of pilferage is happening and things like that. Now, with this kind of a thought, you can narrow down to the right consumer and talk to him at the language what he wants, and also put across the brand proposition in the story seamlessly. That's a whole proposition. But with this, there was a problem. See, traditionally, I'm going focusing more on Indian market and how people think and evolve. So there's a lack of understanding in the whole system. As I told you, how it evolved is okay. A brand wants to be a part of a movie. There's no structure to the in place. They discuss a lot, and there's no structure on deliverables at the end of the day. And nothing is recorded, and everything goes by the word of mouth. And at the end product, what comes out will not be sure brand would like it, or the consumer would consume it the way it has to be done. So there's a lot of organized platform to directly help. And the amount of money what they spend, point two is the amount of money what they spend is huge to the amount, the kind of exposure what they get, or the content integration what they get. And beyond that, at the end of the day, even after spending so much of crores of money, at the most what they get is a post or a story from that protagonist or the leading actor. So if you really look at the thing, how did the brand benefit? I would really put it in the bottom of the scale. That's how it is. And this is actually the problem which has been faced till today. And thanks to the new tech, what's coming in place, how we could really work on it to solve this kind of a problem, for brands. To also understand, the market size, as I talk about CAGR report, it's a huge gap between what's happening and what could be done, especially in the way of, if you look at the product of consumption of content is there. So that is something very at a very fast, rapid phase it's growing. Now, you could have a top cast in your movie, but if the content is not working well, it will not work. So here is the marriage what we're trying to do. A great content with the brand, which could communicate, which could, set ethos of the brand would be communicated to the storyline. So that is how the whole attention is all out here. So I'll just play a small video, which will take you to the journey of how the integration of brands were done in the movie. Sometimes it used to look like a force fit. Sometimes it has no connection at all. And sometimes, although there's a connection, there is no kind of a communication attached to that. It used to be just a part of it. So that is something what we want to change. Because if you look at a brand's point of view, brand wants to measure what is the ROI on the returns. So that's how it is. Just take a look at the video and then we'll talk. Thank you, Indra, for that. Now I will just tell you two, three things out here. In the small video, you saw a journey of how integration started and how it is evolving and what is the next level, right? So, Shiva, you want to say something on this?
No. You continue.
Okay, great. I'll just continue. There's a talk on this 1 second. Am I visible, guys? Sorry to say.
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So I told you the problems. What are the problems? What the as an industry as well as the brands are facing. To just give you repeat the same things again. See, there were a lot of middlemen involved in this. There was no strategy in place.
Vinay, full
Yes.
screen
I'm
presentation.
sorry.
Full screen.
1 second. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay, great. Just to add on to that, see, there was a lot of middlemen involved in this, and there was no clarity of communication. Let's say a brand would be interested in being a part, but that whole thing, what the brand narration would never be captured on the screen, right? Because there are so many middlemen and there's a communication gap and things like that. That's that, and not to forget the kind of money is involved and the transparency, because when there is a changing of hands from communication from one to second and second to the third, the actual creativity and the content gives a miss to the brand communication. So that was a huge gap, right? And that affects the visibility of the brand in turn. And of course, it affects the overall conversation and the ROI, what the client invests so much money in integration with the content itself, right? So what would be the solution is there's always a gap for some tech which could really remove this middleman and also give the brands enough opportunity and technology which would help them to first of all filter the right kind of content where brand would be echoing with that kind of a communication. And even in the content there are a couple of things where they can be seamlessly integrated in the content. That is the key. See, if you see the same CAGI report and also the Density report this year, which I'm sure you guys have seen it. The thing is, see, the recall value is really high if it's in the content which is seamlessly integrated. That's the key here. See, force fitment. If you have seen a couple of ads where the brands are force fitted in the whole narration of the story and the content, so that will never serve the purpose. But nonetheless, the amount of money, time spent, effort spent is too high on that. So what's required here is a kind of a platform, a programmatic platform, which a brand itself could go navigate and see what are the options available and how it could cater to the needs. Again, seasonality as well to be kept in mind. So that's the actual problem and a solution which a tech could give, as for us. And if you see, where is it evolving to? It started with basic passive integration. Now it's going into the active integration. That's actually the key. If you ask me, for the next 2 to 3 years, again, you can segment the market. Let's say a segment like a jewelry or a fashion brand needs a lot of action at immediate place. So that's what a tech is required, where brands could really get into the video e-commerce. That's the next thing with segmentation of markets. Or for that matter, just a brand like make feel good kind of a lifestyle brands would want to be integrated in the movies is one. First part is the integration into the movie, which is active. Second is into the video commerce. That's a two space what is actually wide open in the market, and there's a huge space for this idea givers or entrepreneurs who think on these ideas and work. And nonetheless, one thing we should keep in mind is the security of it, the trust factor. So because if too many people are involved, there's no transparency, though it leads to a trust factor. So that's where there's a gap for a window or a platform which could really address to these key issues, which is huge in Indian market right now. So just to introduce ourselves, what we are, Brand Exchange, with the thought process of creating a platform which would actually give solutions to these existing problems and also cater to the huge gap in the market. Which we are not trying to fight with the traditional way of marketing. Absolutely, no. We are just evolving to the next level. What we could do, grab attention of the consumers and the brands, most importantly. also to the production houses, box offices. We are trying to see how we could bridge this gap between box offices and the requirement and the brands and requirement, because by the end of the day, box offices really can function well if it's properly supported by the brands in terms of funding, in terms of supporting with them. And on the other hand, brands also do not have to worry that it's a big multi-crore project and we would not be able to afford and all. No, that should be not be the barrier for the content to be integrated into brand and brand to be integrated into the content. So giving that as a platform is a view what we have. So I'll just take you through the small thing, what we're trying to do. We're going to cut short all the problem areas and where we connect production houses straight with the brands. On our platform, we could communicate with each other, keep everything on one chat where we say what is the exact requirement, and depending on the storyline, if the brand likes the storyline and the cast, they could currently approach straight to the box offices and the production houses, and we could communicate together and we come at a understanding. Yeah, this is the investment what's to be done, and this is the kind of integration would be done to the brand, and with all approvals in place, it will go in a smooth pace. That's the whole thing. Second thing is we are the first India's product discovery engine. When I say product discovery engine, just for hypothetically saying, Trisha is wearing a jewelry and that movie is on OTT. So the next thing is here the advanced thing is like right on the screen, somebody can pause and see the kind of design what she's wearing, the other design what's available, and also she could do a purchase out there. That's the next level of video e-commerce what we are working towards. This is again in the interest of the Indian e-commerce industry and as well the brands together. So that's how we are building this property altogether. Now, where all it would be, reach would be, if we talk about this content integration, the brand integration, the movies would be right from your movie theaters onto your ticketing platform and to OTT and the home stream, wherever the device is accessible, barring the movie theaters, because that's a one-way communication. Wherever the movie is accessible in all these platforms, that's where the e-commerce, video commerce can be activated at once. So value proposition is very simple. Brands should get the right visibility. It's like if you have to give context, it's like programmatic buying. I'm sure we all know what programmatic buying is. No spillovers, direct to the TG, to the requirement, and to the point. Similarly, in the video e-commerce, now if you have to really do not waste your money elsewhere, you are looking for right content where the brand fitment, and then lead that to the sales cycle. That's the whole value proposition what we bring to the table, solving a bigger problem which is creating a huge gap in the market. So the question is, this is the problem, and this is the way we look forward as a solution from our side. So this should be from my side. We are open for questions, although I know it's a short presentation with the script idea. So we would want to know your opinion about it, or we would also like to share what we think, and you can give your insights into that. We're open for questions right now.
Hey, thank you so much, Vinay. Yes, so we've got our first question. So guys, I request all of you, it's a closed group, we all know each other. You can please come on camera if you're comfortable. If not, please drop in your questions on the chat session, the chat room, and we'll be happy to, Vinay will be happy to answer them. But please get your questions coming out. The first question we have, Vinay, is from Mr. Mohammed. So his question is, what challenges do brands face with in-film branding in the digital age?
Yes, I'll go back to the word. I'll start with the way where we started. Challenges were like initially I'll go non-digital first, then I'll come to the digital. Okay. Non-digital, we had this integration issues. What we had, brands were never been noticed out there. Therefore, they used to look like a force fit basically. And think of a brand. I can give you examples of so many which is on air even now. That it's a high cost. Number one, high cost, low reach, no control over the content, and you don't know the audience and the behavior. You simply can't measure the ROI. Okay, now coming to the digital age, very rightly put, I come from a digital background. Even in digital age now, everything is moving to performance marketing. You agree with me? People, even digital, they are looking at performance marketing. They do not talk about your views and clicks. It's only about performance marketing or affiliate marketing for the matter. Both go hand by hand. So solving that problem, I told you on the video e-commerce, right? So now what it comes to do a consumer is, earlier when you have to do something, you would go to this e-commerce marketplaces to do that. Now we actually serve as a marketplace. I told you an example of Trisha wearing a jewelry in that wedding scene, right? Once it goes to the OT platform or your phones, there's an option. If you probe you, would you be interested in this design or something like that? The moment you go through that, the automatic option would give you multiple other choices. and you could go there. You could, in fact, virtually, you can try out the jewelry as well with your photo. I know, we all know that virtual marketing was happening. So this platform will give you where you could go to the screen, pause it, and do the shopping as well. Ultimately, to the cycle of your purchasing would be done. So that is where it started as a simple movie integration. It would end at a video e-commercing platform. So that's how the journey would be in the digital age. So your RO is bang on. No spillage.
So I think Mr. Mohammed's given a thumbs up to that answer. Thank you, Vinay. We have our next question, which is from Venkateswaran. The question is, what are the factors that would affect the brand value?
Factors. Okay. Now again, going back to the same thing. Now let's say I'll give an example of Echo. I mean, I can give anything actually. See, any brand would have a couple of parameters. When we probe as sales guys, we just don't do, there's a campaign, let's do it. No, we have to go deeper, understand that key one pain point what the brand is having. This again comes with your comparison of your competition on a particular TG, whatever it is. So this challenge is actual challenge. In more of a content integration, say a movie integration for that matter, you do not get to go so deeper as a market segmentation. That's why when I showed this segmentation chart, I told you, we could actually segment here. I'll tell you what, we'll have hands on the script, number one, right? This is before the production. We'll have hands on the script. We'll have hands on the cast list. We also have hand on the director and things, because that's also important, because if you really see, many of them do not play with the creativity, right? They must mess with the creativity for a brand to come in. But again, since we are at the stage where scripting is almost being done, let's say I want to script in such a way that brand is seamlessly integrated. That's the challenge. If it's not done this way, it will not be like a seamless integration. It will just be like forcefully a hero is going on a bike or just going to a shop and buy something. That should not be the storyline. I'm looking at creating a content which, when a brand, let's say a brand has got few USPs that will integrate it into hero's storyline itself. So if you relate it, right, say even scene can be only 5 minutes. That the story itself relates the journey of a hero, the product together. That's how it will last longer in the minds. And with the storyline being scripted like that, it's more easily to be integrated so that the brand actual communication is not lost. Hope I answered that one. I know it's a longer.
No. Nice. So I think we're having some nice, interesting technical questions coming next, which is from Xiaomi, but we don't have a name to that person. The question is, how buying a jewel is possible when Trisha is wearing? Will there be a QR code or would there be a link on the OTT platforms?
It's a mix of all, I'll tell you. If you see the ticketing you saw, right? I'll show you the option, right? Ticket had a QR code. That's one way of starting your video e-commerce. You saw, right? The first set, I had a ticket one in there, then a platform, then an OTT. This question is on OTT, I'll answer the OTT. And it's possible all way, because if I say I integrate a brand with a movie, the first step is in the movie integration happens, right? Second step is tickets have been issued in the theater, right? So let's say on the ticket, there's a barcode. That's an option where styling of this movie, example, okay, I'm talking more in context of designers. So you scan that, you get what the best styles applicable in that movie, right? From your jewelry to your fashion, or the heroine is wearing and things like that. That's on theater, okay, in the ticketing. Third, on a platform like OTT, whichever is an interactive platform, the screen probes you. Screen will probe you if this is something of an interest. It's not going to disturb your seamless involvement in the content at all. It will only probe you. If you're interested, obviously, if I'm interested in something like that, because normally what happens in a movie, we see a couple of dresses out there and we don't even know where you get it, because these are not available on Flipkart or Amazons of the world. And exclusively for these designs of jewelry, you see, they have been designs of jewelry launched for a particular movie. I'm very sure we all know Padmavat and things like that. Tanishq had done that. So similarly, let's say that brand would obviously promote that. If this is happening, then there'll be a probe on your interactive screen to know more about it. If you remember, the last part of the video showed a fight scene in a movie. In the video, where you could scan the entire thing, whatever she's wearing, right from the jewelry to dress to the sandals. So the consumer only have to pause the screen and show his interest. It will take you to multiple windows. It's like leading you to the multiple options. So that's when you can do actually a purchase out there. So, okay, coming to the interface, it will go to the website wherever we want it to. Let's say in this case, Malabar Jewelry. It's as simple as that. Basically, it's
Right.
like a marketplace for these products. We would lead to there, and the transaction can also happen through that.
Right. Right.
Vinay, sorry to interrupt this.
Yes, you are. Please.
Yeah, the question, this answer is all the interactions happen within the player. We are not redirecting to any other third-party advertiser site, right? So, which means somebody is consuming the content in OTT. The user have a provision to buy the product within the screen within the player. That's how our take and then our e-commerce build is built in such a way. That's a solution what we are giving to the market. That is the USP what we are playing in the market.
Thanks for that, Shiva. By the way, to the audience here today, Shiva is the CEO of Brand Exchange. So Vinay and Shiva are here to answer your queries. But thanks for that,
Yeah.
Shiva.
Yeah.
We've got Shravan Kupili, who's raised his palms. We'll take the next question after Shravan. Go ahead, Shravan. Hey, man.
Right. So I'm new to this group. I just saw a post on LinkedIn and signed up because it seemed interesting. Just a quick intro about us. I'm the head of marketing at Greengold Studios. So originally we are the creators of Chota Bheem. And then we are a hybrid production house who do live action as well. We've recently launched 2 movies, one regional and one Bollywood. We are going on floors in August for the first Netflix's South Indian original. So now this is coming from a lot of production house point of view. So I hope I get a few answers from you guys, because see, if you take Chota Bheem as an IP, when we make a movie, it's a brand in itself. So when I take in-film branding for Chota Bheem, it's like licensing the character as well as in-film branding. And this segment is Chota Bheem is the pioneer in sort of character licensing, where it is already the brand ambassador of like 70 national brands. So the competitors might buy for an in-film opportunity where it is a short form, a small integration for them, where they can get a piece of Chota Bheem endorsing the product. The other side is, let's say we are talking about OTT platforms. So Netflix is the producer of this first South Indian original we are doing. Netflix has strictly given it in their agreement that all branding will be done by them, in film and out of film.
Got it.
So when we are saying we can bridge the gap between from scripting to brands, how do we come about the legal situation there?
Yeah.
Because as Netflix, it promises a global reach, and it being their original, they'll promote it across the globe. And not to give away much, but this is a very youth-centric, young adult comedy, which deals with a lot of sex education.
Got it. Can I answer for this,
Sure.
Shravan? Actually, when it comes to you are producing the content behalf of Netflix.
Yeah.
Here is Netflix is the content owner.
Yeah.
Netflix, it's actually our platform is connecting producers and brands and the consumers. Okay. When it comes to the producer, obviously they have the merchandise rights, whatever we discuss about that merchandise rights. What we are trying to create them as a video commerce rights. For example, if you are producing the behalf of Netflix, that's the reason your that conversation has happened here. For example, think about as a producer who is producing the actual movie in the market. They have all the rights in their hands.
Yeah, sure.
They are selling for might be the one language. They might be give it to the Amazon. Might be their other language. Parallelly, they can release it into the AHA.
Yeah.
Then again, the audio rights might be bought it into any audio labels.
Yeah.
Satellite rights is owned by someone else. FMS rights is owned by someone else.
Yeah.
The brand exchange is a platform we are creating for the video commerce IP, top of the merchandise rights. So we are the one who is connecting all the three parties, created the tripod agreement. Entire data has to be trained by us. Then again, the data has to be seamlessly we are giving to all the streaming platforms.
Got it.
Which means the content producer will get the additional revenue stream without disturbing their distribution ecosystem. For example, if you are producing, your case is you are producing the content behalf of Netflix.
Yeah, but
Hira
that's
Mandi.
one case.
You can take it as a Hira Mandi as a case. Hira Mandi is streaming in Netflix. But you go to the Agio is showing that it's an inspired, Hira Mandi inspired product.
Yeah.
But who is the owner of the content? Content is owner is the Netflix. They have to get it for the revenue share, right? Obviously. Yeah. Then brand has to be, Netflix can't able to redirect their user into Agio, which is not possible because they are the main competitors in the market. Even the same content might be sometime later, Hotstar can stream it.
Yeah.
Which is possible.
Anybody can have. So another challenge we have as production houses, I'll tell you. So our recent live action movie was Chota Bheem live action first time adaptation. Since it's set in a mystical world, we really can't do in film. But like as I said, Chota Bheem is a brand. A lot of brands want a piece of it. So we got around 6 brands: Ease My Trip, Abibus, Hero Cycles doing out of film co-branded associations with us. But now we have other 3 more Tollywood production in our pipeline. Sizable actors like Nani and all.
Got it.
No, so we co-produced Kalki 2898's Prelude, Bujji and Bhairava. So now when we talk to brands about infilm, I'll tell this outright as a industry standard. Now we are not looking at box office, we're looking at production costs.
Got it.
That might be even if the hero is using the Royal Enfield, we want Royal Enfield to be sponsored by the brand. True. Even if it's 1 lakh also.
True.
So here, how do we, as a producer, if I'm looking at covering my production costs, when I set up with a platform like Brand Exchange, which is giving me an additional revenue stream after the movie is released through e-commerce.
Correct.
Will my direct transaction of value be reduced because of the earnings there?
No.
Will
I
this
tell you
brand
something.
value come down?
No, definitely not. I tell you something.
That's good.
For example, as you said, rightly said, it's a Chota Bheem is the special character, cartoon character, what we are comparing with that. Take it as any action movie, love movie, any movie, right? And on average, the producer will spending for at least 1 to 4% for their costume budgets.
Yeah.
Right? They are investing money. As a brand exchange is helping them to make it as a zero for producer. When it comes to the brand, why they are investing money to giving to the sponsors for the outfit, right? Because as of now, they don't have any tool to convert it into sales.
Yeah.
Because as a content, don't have a control when they will going to the edit that particular scene or not. Because the creative person doesn't know the flow of the content, length of the content. As a brand exchange, we are make sure that we are giving the confidence to the brand saying that whatever the investments you are investing, that has to be converted into the sales. Which means we are one side is that we are reducing the production cost. The producer will become as an affiliate partner for brands. Whatever the sales happen, they are getting for the additional revenue share for the each and every sales. That's how we are creating the ecosystem. Second thing is when it comes to the streaming platform. When you think about the streaming platform perspective, streaming platform is bleeding the money.
Yeah.
Because they are making only for 150 rupees per subscriber. That's what maximum they can make per month, which is possible as of now. We are helping them to generate the additional 25% of lift from the each and every transaction. They are also getting for the sales.
Good.
The main challenge here is without losing their user, without redirecting their consumers to the any other third party side, they are making the additional revenue. All the stakeholders getting benefited out of this. Top of that, we are the one creating merging the commerce and then content. That's how the brand exchange is helping all the stakeholders. For example, as you said, as a brand exchange, already we penetrated Tamil market. Recently, we entered into, 6 months before we launched in Telugu market.
Okay.
Supriya has launched a guild, is supporting us. One side is we are educating to the brands to come on the board. They are also testing the products. It's a kind of chicken first or egg first. As a brand exchange, putting our energy to connect both the parties.
Yeah.
Thanks to the technology, we are into artificial intelligence era. Yeah.
Understood. That works. Yeah. Thanks for your
Thank you so much. Yeah, but the thing is actually there is no any loss. Nobody is losing any money here.
Got it. But
Thanks.
does release date affect you when you onboard a brand? Sorry, that's my last question.
Sorry, please go.
Let's take a Pushpa. Pushpa's put 11 brand logos on their teaser promo poster.
Got it.
It's now in a state where it has the highest non-theatrical revenue covered till now, but they are bleeding because of their postponement. Where in contract it says every month you go, so certain value will be denounced. Now, will the brands also look at it that way?
You think about the brand perspective. You are always thinking
When Vinay was presenting, he said the timing of the release, certain brands.
That's also matters. Yeah,
at this
that's
moment,
also matters.
I think the cement brands and paint brands will be much aggressive in the market.
Yeah, you
But
think
Pushpa
about
moved
that.
from August to December. How does it affect the brands that are already onboarded?
I tell you something. The problem here is all the brands has a budgets, right? Even they are targeting into Pongal campaign or it's a Diwali campaign.
Yeah.
These are the major festivals in India, whether the puja holidays or something like. So everybody has their, even the mobile companies, they are trying to launch a new brands. They have a roadmap. That's how they are preparing for 6 months or 8 months before the product. The brand exchange, what we are trying to solve here is what actually scenes demands. We are not, what is that? As you said, it's a bullet is something needs. The scene must be required. Then only brand is willing to integrate. Otherwise, we can't able to create the forcefully. We can't able to bring them into integrate the product is, which won't work on that part. Then again,
so if it's a direct sales, let's if the scene is there and they know for sure August is when they're releasing, and let's say the big campaign was supposed to go from Independence Day, which was supposed to be Pushpa's release date. Let's say the electronics, most of them do Independence Day sales. How does that affect those sort of categories who are specific to the release?
You have to split it into two categories. One is for e-commerce category, another for non-e-commerce. Luxury items definitely won't happen in that e-commerce, which is not possible at all. They have to go and test drive the vehicle and then buy the vehicle. That's the one thing is brand awareness, brand building practice. Even Gundur Karam, there is a GPS integrated in a proper way. Even whatever the movies available in the market, there is a Thar is seamlessly integrated each and every movie. It's a passive kind of marketing. When it comes to somebody's needs or scenes demands for booking for the taxi or booking for the auto, that time how to integrate the product, right? That time only that is a, what is that? It's a proper way of delivering the proper way and then getting the benefits as both the parties.
Let's say Zomato or Uber.
Or whatever the things. What we are creating here is when it comes to the myth, when it comes to the brand side is cinema is the very expensive medium to integrate the product because there are so many middlemen involved. There is no proper there are so many middlemen, even the DP and production managers,
Very
even
unorganized. It's still unorganized.
It's only unorganized. Think about that as a legal entity owner. Who is the entity owner? Because the reason is Netflix is the corporate company. That's the reason they put the proper agreement with you. You don't have any control. You don't have any control. But when it comes to the regional producer, they don't know about
They don't understand the guidelines and these restrictions they're not restrictions. Correct. These are compliance issues.
Right now is as a brand exchange is educating all the producers. That's the reason they are joined hands with us. They are onboarding with us. Even the 51 production houses and Tamil production houses working with us. There is even Telugu industry is a guild is the 5 families controlling that thing. They launched our product in Telugu market because we are educating one side and again we are helping the brands as other side. The brands is also facing a lot of problems because they invested a huge money. That movie is not releasing proper time. Then brand is again got
the scene gets stopped because of
correct. Again, then it's so many problems also they are facing. There is no proper record. There is no proper agreements placed involved in this medium. That's how we are slicing the market, organizing the market, regularizing the market. Again, our artificial intelligence solution for helping consumers to buy the product through the screens. I'm talking about only for head to toe fashion items. Don't compare with the luxury items. Luxury items is always obviously
it depends on the behavioral spending habits also.
Got it.
All right, thanks for your time, Shiva. Like, it was
Thank you so much. Yeah.
I'd like to connect after this call somewhere.
Yeah, definitely we can. Yeah.
Just further
Always
things
will open.
we can do. Sure.
Yeah. Sure. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thanks, Shravan. And I think it was a very interesting question answered by Shiva and Vinay. But to top to that, Shiva, we've had a personal experience from our agency, which was about 2 years ago. We were contacted by one of the top 3 payment gateways brands, right, from India for a in-film branding for Mohanlal's Bro Daddy, which happened, I think, 3 years ago, right?
Yeah,
And we contacted the production house. We got, where possibly there was a scene where Mohanlal gets caught by the cops, and he said that I'm not carrying cash. I'll scan and I'll pay via the payment gateway, the brand. That was the scene, right? Now we obviously got costs. We shared it with the client. Client found it to be expensive. That didn't go through. Okay, now much like say 10 months later or something, when I get to see the film, that the same payment gateway has used that scene.
Okay, bypassed by someone else.
Right now, but we were the first ones to give them that as a service because we found out we have a connection in the Malayalam industry as well. But I mean, with a platform like Brand Exchange, I think that really solves it legally, solves avoid the spillage through this.
Yeah, you approach directly with the production house whom you interact with the production side.
It was, I think, it was from the production house. It was one of the producers itself. Like there are four, 5 people from them. And
actually, the problem here is the executive producer. That is when it comes to the production side.
Correct.
There is 3-4 layers involved.
Correct.
One of might be executive producer is keep on changing the production. Movie to movie. That's how the industry will works. Then again, executive producer. Then other one is for the production manager. Production manager also keep on changing. Each and every movie, they are the one assembling the movie and then move to the other productions, other movies. So that's the reason the brand exchange is giving the solution. Might be the producer of that particular movie doesn't know about the deal.
Correct.
Because of the personal benefits, they might be won't engage that particular scene, or they'll bypass you, go and give it to the entire money. Might be they'll take it in their pocket and then they'll integrate with that, which is also possible. I'm not complaining anyone, but which is possible in the market because cinema is the more unorganized, and then there is no right person contact number is the matter for that particular industry. So inventory is the matters.
Absolutely. No, I think this is a good solve. Anyways, coming back to many other questions that's there on the Q&A. We've got Niveta who's asked, when you mention about video commerce through OTT platforms, we can get rid of ads when we pay for subscription. So after that point, how do the brands benefit?
Yeah, the thing is actually we are not running any ads above the player. The thing is, here is the solution clearly communicated for the consumer, saying that if you want, you can search it. It's helping the consumer finding the product. It's a completely user initiated, not by the player initiated or not by the platform initiated. It's an additional user experience to find the product in the same player. It's a consumer initiated. Obviously, it's a kind of they are finding the product. Candidates not disturbed. For example, I'll give you the example. Right now, as of now, if you are watching the movie in Prime, Amazon Prime, there is a feature called X-ray. When you pause it, you'll get the complete artist information in that particular frame that has to be visible top of the player.
Correct.
Which is completely helping the consumer saying that what are the artists acting in this particular scene. Hereafter, the same similar mechanism, hereafter somebody is pausing that screen, they'll get the complete outfit or head to toe, entire lifestyle product displaying above the screen. That's it. If they are willing to buy it, they can buy it. If they want to, they have to add it into their wish list, they can add it. It's not advertisements. Advertisement is something else. How AI word will work. Similar.
Right.
Forcefully running within 3 minutes once, 4 minutes once. This won't work in such a way. It's increasing the user experience.
Fair enough.
This is the future. Yeah.
Right. We have the next question from Arjun, who says, how are the opportunities for brands that are purely in the B2B business? Interesting question.
Sorry, come again. Sorry, I missed out.
How are the, I think essentially in film branding opportunities for brands that are purely in the B2B business?
Okay. Vinay, you can?
Yeah, absolutely. See,
Yeah.
I told you, we get the insight from the script itself. Let's say a storyline goes as if he's struggler in the movie and he's wanting to set up a small businesses. So this is completely from a B2B, completely not as B2C. So you're talking about loan giving, loan lending, and for a small scale industry or something. So it's completely B2B. So there are ways of integrating it. Of course, that's why I told you at the scripting stage we could actually put this. So see, this is completely a B2B solution. There's nothing to do with B2C. So likewise, ancillaries, subsidiaries could be included into this. As you said, your own example, Mohanlan Payment Gateway was a B2C, but now we could really do a script where we could create a situation where the solutions are given from B2B. Simple as that.
Right. Awesome. We have the next question from Arvind Murali, which is, can you please give us some real case examples of the movies which you worked on and seamlessly integrated the brand to do it? If possible, explain the thought process that went behind.
When it comes to, as of now, we are working with 11 movies. We are waiting for the first movie to release. In the Tamil movie, there is a movie name called Moonram Kan. There is a second movie, Kadali Kadali, that is completed already. We are waiting for the release date. Yes, successfully, we are the first company to creating this particular ecosystem, right? So that's the reason we need sometimes to educate both the parties to bring it to the platform. Yes, of course, we invested our time more than 1.5 years to come to this stage. When it comes to the thought process, might be thought processes, yes, of course, thanks to YouTube. Yeah, on the food blogger is putting for their content in YouTube, there is a transaction is happening in Swiggy. These guys are influencing, go and buy the product and foods are here is available, best food is available. But Swiggy is converting those kind of business. So this is the basic thought process. But when it comes to that, web traffic already monetized. That's how we are taking it into the streaming traffic who don't have access to build the commerce solution. That's how we are builded this particular solution. Again, yes, of course, when we entered in this particular market, we faced a lot of problems. Again, pivoted the product. Lot of time we pivoted the product. Then laterally we came to know, we touched that roots. That's how we are controlling the merchandise rights, legalize the process. That legalized integration is documentized, and then that has to be maintained by the brand exchange. So make sure that investments has to be happen the legal way. And then that has to be protected in the documented, properly documented, that has to be protected in such a way. So we are safeguarding into the investors, which means advertisers.
Just one more thing I would love to add to it. See, when you visit our platform, right, as once you register as a brand, when you go to the movie leads, that's a option where you can actually X-ray the entire movie production, which is like inline. Number one. Number two, the storyline, because if you see the storyline, if a rom-com, it's a comedy, or it's a horror, these things would actually resonate with you. Let me tell you, some brands do not want to associate with horror. Let's be clear. Some brand wants to go with the storylines which are to the Gen Z, right? This is how, first of all, you filter it the first time. Second thing is, the product integration happens through the script, as I told you. So first of all, you're screening it with the content base itself, the genre, what you want to get in. Then the casting. So you don't have to really spend crores on a big star. Same thing can be very articulately put in somebody who's just a new face in the movie, or just budding star, who's very cute or who's something like that. So if you look at the other side of it, for an endorsement of a deal for any small or mid-scale creator, you pay in crores, and your usage limitation is a year at the most for endorsement. I'm sure we all know that. But whereas here, you're first of all identifying the budding star at the very early stage, and mind you, the integration of the product has no timeline. You could ever use it. kind of a thing, on your platforms and promote it. So that it gives a lot of windows of options if you look at the brand ROI perspective as such.
Lovely. So the next question from Vinay and Shiva is from Venkata Krishna. His first question is similar to what Arvind asked, so I believe the answer that Shiva answered, met that question. The second part of the question is, what is the budget involved in programmatic advertising if a client wants to target a specific TG?
Here is we are giving the complete freedom to the client, advertiser, which is how ad exchange will works. Both the parties can bid each other. Both the parties have a rights to negotiate each other within the platform. Even our intention is we are trying to slice the myth of movie investments is very huge. We are trying to slice it. Even the 5 lakhs to 5 crores. Here is the movie also available, multiple languages, multiple budgeted movies, multiple star cast kind of choices. So advertiser or brands or agencies can have a leverage to choose what they want. That kind of transparency what we are creating here. There is no any standard protocol because we don't have any red card as of now in the market.
Right.
So the only thing is we are helping the brands to get the multiple choices of movies. Somebody is refused to take the 5 lakh rupees. Might be some other producer can take it. Because each and every one's decision making is different. Financial condition is different. Then again, you will get the complete freedom to choose the movies. Nobody is forcing you to take that. Again, other side is also. They are also having the multiple choices, right? Whether they have to take it or not, based on the artist value, based on the content, based on the production value, everything is involved.
Okay.
That's the reason we are connecting both the decision makers in one place. Yeah, Vinay. You can.
Sorry. I'll just make it more simpler. Let's say the same example of Bullet, what you gave. So let's say Bullet is bidding an X amount and Yamaha also bids an amount which is double. So obviously producer would go for the Yamaha one, which is like, so that's why both the sides there's a choices to make.
Right. Awesome. So the next question is from Arun Rangarajulu. How is in-film branding in a movie or film tracked? For a seamless integration of a brand in a movie, how is it done and how much would be the charges? I think the charges bit of the question Shiva has already answered. But if you'd like to answer the first part, which is how is in-film branding in a film or movie tracked? For a seamless integration of a brand in a movie, how is it done?
Yeah, I'll answer that. See, the cycle starts with the script selection and things like that. The intention to be a part. That's a first pitch, right? As a brand, you show interest that I would want to be a part of this particular thing. So on the same discussion, even the production house will say, yes, we are open for it. Let's go into discussion of what's kind of integration and all. This goes to scripting and things like that. Let's say, assume the brand and the production house agrees that this is the kind of integration we're going to do, right? And that this, whatever amount agreed amount. So once that is shot, that has been shared, if I'm not wrong, with the brands for their approval, right? So once the brand okays it, okay, then only it goes for the censorship because the censor is not in our hand. At least before it go to the censor, we both brand and the production house is agreed upon the short piece, basically. That's how the integration. Obviously, when the brand is looking at a particular execution to be done for a brand justice, that would be taken care. That's where we come into picture. We make sure whatever has been committed to the brand in terms of integration, it's been taken care in the production. It's a part of the movie. Then only then it goes to the censor and it's executed. Right, Shiva?
Yeah, correct.
Perfect. And Arun stopping that question with, can we finalize with brand before shoot or in script stages?
There is all the data, whatever we are providing, right? Which is the first party data. Before going to the puja, the brands or advertiser getting the data in their hand. For example, there is a scenes demands for chocolates. For example, there is a scenes demands for the chocolate. Whether that shoot is already happened, which is not possible to integrate again. There is a scene required for because they are also having the schedules based on the scenes. That's the reason we are giving the first party, and then there is a provisions to give both the parties to decide faster, FOMO. We are trying to create the FOMO as both the parties, right? So that's how we are helping them to fix it, because mainly we are helping the brands, because producer is happy to conclude all the brands into one place before going to the shoot. They'll be happy to schedule their based on their shootings and then approvals, on ground activities. Everything has to be done. That's how we are helping them.
Absolutely. Right. And we have to be honest, Shiva and Vinay, this is, I think, one of our first InsightView series session where the Q&A has gone for 40 minutes.
Oh, great.
Okay, so I mean,
Great.
it's been there's so much of thought, there's so many ideas that people want to discuss, and I think it's a great platform that you guys chose to speak on. We have one last question, and since it's time up at 5, probably you guys should connect with Vinay and Shiva on LinkedIn. Maybe many of you can catch them up. If Shiva and Vinay, if you guys could just drop in your LinkedIn handles on the chat group, it'll help people connect with you guys after this. One last question, Shiva and Vinay, from Shami again, which is, you mentioned that video e-commerce is not for luxury brands, which produces luxury items. So according to you, isn't jewelry a luxury item?
Jewelry is again it's a kind of lightweight jewelry. What we are talking about, we are not talking about the 3 lakh rupees jewelry. We are talking about the 5,000 rupees or 7,000 rupees, which is possible to gifting someone else. I'm not talking about the luxury in the sense of if somebody is promoting their Jeep vehicle into the movie. Are you thinking which is possible to sell through the e-commerce? Which is not possible. They have to go to the showroom, feel it, and then book the vehicle. The same similar way, whether the other product, like even the diamond jewelry or more than whichever the possible, less than 20,000 or 15,000 as per the e-commerce behavior. That is how we are considering that. I'm not against for if user can buy the product. I don't have an issue on that. I'm not controlling that. But only thing is that we have to consider as a user behavior, right? Market behavior, right?
Perfect. Great. So I think we're done with today's questions and the session. First of all, I'd like to thank Vinay and Shiva for taking the time out to, have a great session with our members and many people across the country for this 16th InsightView series session. I'd like to hand it over to Uma, who's the treasurer of the Advertising Club of Madras and managing editor of Media News for You, to give the vote of thanks. Over to you.
Hi,
Hi,
thank
sir.
you, Shiva, and the team Brand Exchange, because we always feel proud of bringing in people from diverse, strata of the industry. In InsightView series, we have last one, if I remember, we have took the team or the industry to decode into the chat GPT, and immediately this one is the first one related to the film branding, particularly when the topic speaks about in-film branding. Of course, there is a failed era when it comes to association of brands with films. The traditional way of brands integrating with films is a failure because of, we have discussed because the rigidness of the creators and lack of producers' will to persuade them, and the high-handedness of the artists and their refusal to endorse brands, or demanding huge sums, like in the case of the Bro Daddy film saga that Suraj was explaining. There is and it is also equally unorganized. And as Shiva was explaining it, there are multiple layers of people who handle it, and finally, you might end up reaching a wrong person who makes the decision. We may not be reaching him. Sometimes, as he said, the executive producer of a project will be more powerful and decision making than the film producer himself, due to various reasons. Or sometimes the artist will have the final say. Sometimes the director will have the final say when it comes to a film like Shankar's director like Shankar or Rajmouli. movies. So these are factors where brands were not able to associate with or integrate with movies. Yes, beyond that, still it was happening thanks to people like Rana Daggubati, who's trying to make it more, transparent. But still, I can say that this is an industry where the traditional side of the in-film branding is still not successful. So it is very interesting to see that a platform like Brand Exchange is pitching in to give a present a digital side or a new media side or a commerce side of the in-film branding to make it more successful. And definitely, I see that it is a new revenue model, and we all grew up watching. People are getting attracted to. They draw inspiration from about their fashion choices from movies. So we have seen a Rangila the attire by the female actress becoming more popular, and everyone started following it, and that attire continued to be a trendy fashion outfit for at least more than half a decade. So that's the kind of influence that movies have towards consumers, and this brand exchange is one pioneer is taking a step towards integrating their interest levels of the audience with instant buying opportunity, creating a commerce opportunity within that, and definitely the content creators. I foresee today it started with films, but tomorrow it might get extended to fiction shows on television or any form of content that's being created by the creators. So this is a wonderful scope, and I'm really happy that Brand Exchange has extended its service, and we were able to talk about this service that is being extended. An agency that is operating from Chennai is able to do such a wonderful job, and brands, agencies, whoever is watching this, you can avail their service to support your clients and brands to get a look for a win-win association with upcoming films and any form of content that it is. Thank you, Shiva, and the team from Brand Exchange for presenting a wonderful case and enlightening our fraternity, advertisers, and the members of advertising club with so much of insights, knowledge, and I hope it is a wonderful takeaway for all of us. And we assure you that we will come out with some fantastic session in the wonderful topic and personality in the upcoming sessions to the members. Thanks to you, all of you, and Vinay, Shiva, great time with you guys, and thanks again. Signing off. Thanks to the digital team, design team, Presto, and Media News for You, and the team from AdClub's office, who have meticulously worked towards putting a wonderful session. Signing off.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, team Maddie's Club and Suraj, Uma, and then Bala, Indra ma'am. So all of them, thank you so much. Thanks for your support, and definitely anybody. It's a kind of, we are also trying to looking for agencies to associate with us. So using our platform to take it their clients.
Surely, Shiva, this will be an opening.
Yeah.
I feel definitely a lot of follow-ups. That's good.
Thank you so much.
We'll engage you in another forum in near future. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, all.